The moment you step onto Mercury, the sun isn't just above you, it owns the sky. It burns 5 times brighter than it ever did on Earth. There is no atmosphere here, no air to breathe, no oxygen to save you. Even if you bring a full suit of life support, the planet itself will try to destroy it. The sunlight is 7 times stronger than on Earth. Radiation floods through your body. Gamma, ultraviolet, particles that burn your DNA. You don't tan here, you decay. Within the first 30 seconds, your cooling system overheats. Sweat evaporates instantly. The moisture on your eyes boils away, leaving them white and blind. The suit's metal parts expand, warping under the heat. You try to move, but gravity, though weaker than Earth's, doesn't help. It only slows your fall as you collapse. The ground beneath you is sharp, glassy, remnants of micrometeor impacts that never burned away in an atmosphere that doesn't exist. Then you crawl toward the horizon, desperate for shade, and suddenly, everything changes. One step into darkness, and the temperature drops from 430 degrees Celsius to minus 180 degrees Celsius in seconds. The metal in your helmet shrinks, cracks. Your lungs implode as the inner pressure equalizes with vacuum. You don't suffocate, you freeze from the inside out. If you appeared on Venus without protection, you wouldn't survive even a second. The first reason is pressure. The air here is so dense that the surface pressure is about 92 times higher than on Earth, like being nearly a kilometer underwater. Your lungs would collapse instantly, and every air pocket in your body would be crushed. The second problem is temperature, around 475 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Any spacesuit would fail within minutes. Metal parts would warp, seals would soften, and electronics would burn. The atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid. The air is toxic, corrosive, and completely unbreathable. Acid particles would destroy your visor in minutes. The sunlight that reaches the surface is dim and orange, filtered through thick clouds. High above, winds reach 360 kilometers per hour. But near the ground, the air moves so slowly it feels like walking through syrup. Venus also has no magnetic field, so its atmosphere is constantly bombarded by solar radiation. In short, on Venus, you would be crushed, boiled, and dissolved almost instantly. Even machines melt here in less than an hour. Landing on Mars without protection wouldn't look dramatic. It would look like suffocation in slow motion. The atmosphere here is almost non-existent, less than 1% of Earth's. That's the same pressure you'd find 35 kilometers above Earth. The air is almost pure carbon dioxide. So even if you tried to breathe, your lungs would fill with gas that can't sustain life. Within 15 seconds, you'd black out. Within a minute, your blood would start to boil. Not from heat, but because the pressure is too low to keep it liquid. Your skin would swell, saliva would bubble, and oxygen would drain from your bloodstream. The temperature averages minus 60 degrees Celsius and can drop below minus 100 degrees Celsius at night, cold enough to make steel brittle. Your eyes would freeze before your brain stops sending signals. Radiation is constant. Without a magnetic field, Mars is bathed in cosmic rays. Living here long-term would be like taking a full-body CT scan every few days until your DNA simply gives up. The dust is another weapon. It's fine like smoke, but laced with perchlorates, the same chemical used in rocket fuel. Breathing it would burn your lungs from the inside, and it would corrode any exposed metal. You could try to move. Gravity here is only 38% of Earth's, so you'd feel light, but you'd be light in a vacuum that's slowly eating you alive. On Mars, you don't die instantly. You die the way metal rusts, quietly, completely, and without a single drop of air. You can't stand on Jupiter, because Jupiter doesn't have a surface. It's a planet made almost entirely of hydrogen and helium, a giant ball of gas so massive it could fit 1,300 Earths inside. If you tried to land here, you'd just keep falling. There's no ground to stop you, only thicker and thicker layers of atmosphere. At first, you drop through clouds of ammonia crystals, surrounded by orange and brown storms larger than Earth itself. Lightning here can stretch for 1,000 kilometers, releasing energy 100 times stronger than anything ever recorded on Earth. The deeper you fall, the darker it gets, and the air turns into liquid metal. Pressure increases fast. After a few hundred kilometers, it reaches 10,000 times the pressure at sea level. For comparison, the Titan submersible imploded at a pressure of just 400 times Earth's atmosphere. On Jupiter, that would happen before you even notice you're descending. Your body would flatten in less than a millisecond. Bones, organs, and blood fused into vapor by compression. As you keep falling, the temperature soars above 20,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to ionize gas and melt every atom that used to be you. If you somehow survived that long, you'd eventually reach the planet's metallic hydrogen layer, a region where hydrogen behaves like molten metal and carries Jupiter's massive magnetic field. Here, the radiation would fry you instantly, 10,000 times higher than the lethal human dose. There's no bottom, no landing, no solid end. On Jupiter, death isn't an impact, it's an endless descent, until pressure, heat, and gravity erase every trace that you ever existed. Like Jupiter, Saturn doesn't have a solid surface. It's a world of gas, pressure, and wind, wrapped in pale yellow clouds that look calm from afar, but hide one of the harshest environments in the solar system. If you fell into Saturn, you'd fall for hours. The upper atmosphere is cold, around -150 degrees Celsius, colder than any place on Earth. Your blood would freeze before you reach the deeper layers, but the deeper you go, the faster you die. Pressure begins to rise far beyond anything a human body can handle. After just a few minutes of descent, the force crushing you would exceed 1,000 times Earth's atmospheric pressure, enough to flatten a nuclear submarine. The winds here are relentless. In Saturn's upper clouds, they reach 1,800 kilometers per hour, faster than rifle bullets. You wouldn't feel it as a breeze, you'd be shredded by air itself. Below that, hydrogen starts to turn liquid, and then metallic. The same process that happens inside Jupiter. As you continue falling, gravity increases and the heat rises to 10,000 degrees Celsius. By then, your body would already be crushed to the density of water, and then vaporized. Saturn's rings, the most beautiful feature in the solar system, are made mostly of ice and dust, harmless to look at, deadly to enter. Each fragment moves at 40,000 kilometers per hour. Passing through them would feel like standing inside a high-speed sandblaster, one that never stops. You could fall for hours without ever reaching a surface. There's no ground here, only increasing pressure and heat. On Saturn, you don't hit the ground. You simply get crushed, stretched, and dissolved into the planet's endless clouds. Uranus looks peaceful, a soft blue marble floating quietly in space. But behind that calm color hides a world that can kill you in ways no other planet can. The first thing you'd notice is the cold. Uranus is the coldest planet in the solar system, with temperatures dropping to -224 degrees Celsius. That's colder than liquid nitrogen, cold enough to make steel shatter like glass. If you appeared here without protection, every drop of moisture in your body, your eyes, your saliva, the fluid in your lungs, would freeze solid in less than a second. Your skin would turn brittle, and your cells would rupture as the water inside them crystallized. You wouldn't fall onto a surface. Uranus, like Saturn and Jupiter, has none. You'd sink into a toxic atmosphere made mostly of hydrogen, helium, and methane. The methane gives the planet its blue color and would suffocate you instantly. The deeper you fall, the more pressure builds. At around 10,000 kilometers down, the pressure would reach 1,000,000 times Earth's, enough to crush any spacecraft like paper. Beneath that lies something stranger, a vast ocean of superheated water and ammonia, kept liquid not by warmth but by pressure. If you reached it, your frozen body would flash boil in seconds. The winds here reach 900 kilometers per hour, faster than any hurricane on Earth. You wouldn't feel them for long. Your body would already be fragments of ice swirling in methane clouds. Uranus spins on its side, tilted 98 degrees, meaning its poles experience 42 years of darkness, followed by 42 years of sunlight. It's a planet that never truly wakes up, just rotates slowly in the dark, freezing everything that dares to fall inside. On Uranus, death doesn't come from impact or heat. It comes from absolute stillness, frozen, crushed, and buried in silence colder than anything in the known universe. Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun, dark, distant, and violent. If you appeared here without protection, you wouldn't die from one thing, you'd die from everything at once. The first thing you'd face is wind. Neptune has the fastest winds in the entire solar system, over 2,100 kilometers per hour. That's almost twice the speed of sound. Air moving that fast isn't really air anymore. It's a horizontal wall of gas that can strip flesh from bone. The atmosphere is made mostly of hydrogen, helium, and methane. No oxygen, no chance to breathe. The methane gives Neptune its deep blue color, but it would also poison and freeze you instantly. The average temperature is minus 214 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to make rubber snap and metal crack. Your skin would freeze solid in seconds, and your eyes would turn to ice before you could blink. As you fell deeper, the pressure would rise rapidly, tens of thousands of times stronger than at Earth's surface. Every bone in your body would shatter under the force, and your organs would compress into a paste before vaporizing. Deeper still, hydrogen turns liquid, then metallic. You'd be crushed into that layer long before reaching the planet's core, if it even has one. The magnetic field here is tilted and twisted, creating radiation belts that would kill you long before the atmosphere does. It's one of the most chaotic environments in the solar system, a place that bends the laws of weather and physics. To stand on Neptune, if it were possible, would be like standing inside a continuous explosion, frozen in slow motion. On Neptune, you don't simply die. You're torn apart, molecule by molecule, and then carried away by winds that never stop blowing. After all that, the storms, the heat, the crushing pressure, and the silence of space, you return to Earth. Here, the air has just enough oxygen to feed you but not burn you. The pressure is strong enough to hold your body together, but gentle enough to let you move. The temperature swings between comfort and survival, never too far in either direction. Every element that kills you on other planets, pressure, heat, cold, radiation, is perfectly balanced here. It's as if Earth was designed not to destroy you, but to keep you right on the edge of what's possible. If Venus is a furnace and Neptune is a storm, Earth is a pause, a single, fragile equilibrium in a system built on chaos. You don't think about it when you breathe or when sunlight warms your face, but everything that feels normal here, walking, seeing, hearing, existing, would be impossible anywhere else. Maybe that's the strangest fact of all. Among worlds of fire, ice, and poison, we live on the only one that doesn't kill us. And still, somehow, we call it ordinary.